Hello everybody, Jose Rodriguez here. In about an hour we have to leave to go pick up Nathan from school, but I'm going to go ahead and sneak in a video concerning the PGI 72 cartridges for the Canon Pro 10. How easy they are to refill. It is just the simplest system available today. The reason I'm doing this, I'm refilling a bunch of cartridges with OEM ink so that I can test a new paper that was sent to me by Breathing Color Riverstone Satin Rag. It uses photo black, so I assume it is probably one of the Burrito type papers, very thick. It's going to require certain settings on the driver. We'll address those as we get to the point where we're going to go ahead and literally test those. But right now I want to talk about refilling these cartridges. Now, I've done this in the past, but I want to hit it again just to make sure that everybody gets it. I have a Chroma Optimizer cartridge that weighs about 17 grams right now. I can put in as much ink until it gets to 32, 33 grams. And I'm going to show you how to do that quite easily. It's already been reset. You're going to use the Red Setter resetter, which is a USB powered resetter. It's sold on eBay. It's sold by Precision Colors, sold by many people. Basically, it is very reliable resetter. You pop the cartridge in, you get a little flash of red light, then you get a solid red light for about 5 seconds, and the red light goes out. At that point, the data has been written correctly. If you remove that cartridge before the light goes out, you may have a bit of data corruption. So make sure that you do this correctly. Allow that solid light to go blank. All right, let's head on over there and start filling up that cart. Okay, what I have here is my scale. We'll move this out of the way. We don't need that. I have a bottle of Chroma Optimizer, squeezy type bottle, have a blunt needle. You could use a shorter needle if you wish. Let's go ahead and weigh this to see what we have. So we'll turn that on. It'll take a few seconds to zero out. We'll pop it in. And I don't know whether you can read this, but it says 18.5 grams. Now, you can either lay it there and just let it sit there while you fill it. Simply, you're just going to squirt ink into that sponge. And you will see the numbers rising on the weight. And I'm going to tell you a few pointers. As you are filling this, make sure that you wet the complete sponge. That sponge is sort of rectangular with oval ends. You want to make sure that that sponge never gets crusty on any portion of that surface. That's the only barrier between that internal bag and the outside world, if you please. So we'll continue to fill. We're only at 21 grams right now, 22. We got to hit 33. I'm literally squirting the ink in a steady stream. When you refill these, soon after you remove them from your printer, they should be able to absorb ink at this rate. This is quite quickly. Now you can use an adapter. Let me stop for a minute here. You can use an adapter like this. This is something that you make, but it's not necessary to do that. We're just going to simply use the scale. So we're at 26. Now, if you buy cartridges that are dried up, they have not been stored with that orange clip that originally accompanied the cartridge, you're going to have problems refilling them. The ink is not going to be absorbed into the bag because of that sponge being crusty. You're going to have air inside that bag, and that's going to cause problems. Now, right now I have a flooded sponge. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to let it sit there for a minute. Let it sink in. It is absorbing inside the cartridge. I'm going to give the cartridge a little wrap, just in case I had any air bubbles in that bag. I'm going to pop it back in. I'm at 31.2. I'm going to squeeze, and I get air. You see that air coming out? Look at that air. It's nothing but foam. Okay, I'll do it again. See, that's preventing me from being able to insert a full load of ink. In this case, it's just Chroma Optimizer, so we don't have a huge mess. If you just let it sit there, the bubbles will go away. Now I can add more Chroma Optimizer. That's something that you're going to see happen, especially when you buy empties from eBay, whenever they're available every once in a while. Not too often, but sometimes they are available. We'll do that. Squeeze again. Look at that, more foam. So this cartridge sat at the level of 18.5 for quite a while. I had my clip on it though, but still. See, I have air. I have air inside that bag. I need to squeeze that out. Otherwise, I will not be able to inject the full load that you need to have. We need to reach 33 grams, give or take a few hundredths of a gram. Now, if I was refilling this straight out of the printer, I wouldn't have to do that. Okay, I think we're done. I think I got all of the air out. Most of it anyway. You can see that although I have a bit of bubbles coming out, again, nothing to worry about. We're going to go ahead and top this off. And again, as I said, if this was a cart you just remove out of the printer, no problem at all. Okay, I zoomed in a little bit and you should be able to see the sponge. If I squeeze it, you get liquid. We're at 32.2. .4. If we hit 32.5, that is perfect. These cartridges, even when empty, they vary in weight slightly. Let me make sure that the scale is actually measuring correctly. Zero it out. Pop it back on there. We're at 32.7. As you can see, this is not something you can do while your printer is idle, waiting for you to feed it a new cartridge. That's why I suggest 2 sets of cartridges, even with the Pro 10. Okay, that's about max. This demo was with a problem cartridge. None of these cartridges present or have presented a problem for me. Let me see what this one weighs. This is a black. 33.1. Perfect. So they're all about 33, just under 33, or just slightly over 33. You may have some air bubbles still trapped inside that accordion bag. And so you have to make sure that you refill these soon after you remove them from the printer. Do not let them sit idle for a very long time. If you do the dual set replacement strategy, remove the cartridges and then don't wait weeks to refill those cartridges you removed. Do it that evening, do it that day, do it tomorrow, but not a week from now, and you will not have any problems. All right, that is it. I hope you enjoyed this quick video. Again, not as critical as Pro 100 cartridges, which have a sponge and they have to be refilled at a certain condition. These can be refilled as soon as they hit empty, fully empty even. As soon as the chip is declared the cart empty, remove it and refill it, pop it back in. If you're going to do single carts, that's the way to do it. You should be able to refill this just holding it by your hand, but this is the way to actually verify the true weight and whether the cartridge is actually filled with ink and not partially filled with air, showing you that you have a full cartridge, but actually you have about 3 or 4 ml of air in the cartridge, and that would not be good. All right, thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. Until the next time, happy printing, everyone. Happy refilling. Bye-bye.